Hey everybody, off camera, it's Eugene Driscoll of valleyindy.org. It's 6:30 p.m. May 1st. That's a Tuesday. The Great Give is well underway. You can donate to a lot of nonprofits in the Valley until 8 p.m. tomorrow. For the next half hour, we are turning the broadcast over to Valley Sports Rewind, a podcast that was weekly, but then my computer broke, and then this happened, and then that happened, but we're getting it back together. The band is getting back together. So to interview and talk about the Derby Running Club, I'm turning over the reins to Mr. Mike Cannici.
Thank you, Eugene. Thank you for the introduction. That was nice of you. And we're joined by a guy who's very involved with the running club and was a longtime track and cross-country coach at Derby, Joe Musante. And also helping me tonight, in case I fumble, will be Jenn Moffat. So, Jen, thank you for coming on. Joe, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely, Mike.
So, Joe, before we talk about the running club, just give us an idea. How's the team doing so far in the spring, the track teams?
So far, so good. The boys are undefeated at 9-0.
Wow.
They just competed at the O'Grady Relays over the weekend. They're doing very well, Mike. This may be, and I don't want to jinx them or anything, but it's certainly going to be one of the best outdoor track teams we've ever had. And we'll see. It could end up being the best. On the girls' side, I believe they're 5-4. It's a good year. There's some good balance on the team. Certainly, the distance runners has always been a strength, so that continues. But we also have Rachel Fleischer in particular doing the long jump and the triple jump, and we have some throwers, and so it's going well.
And the boys, if I'm not mistaken, they won the Class S last year, correct?
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah, it was the first Class S championship since 1976.
They also just recently in the winter won the indoor as well.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Nice. So let me ask you, Joe, talk about the running club. How did this come about? How long has it been in existence, and how are you guys progressing with that?
Sure. It was really a brainchild of Rob Heider. Rob is the president of the club. A little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, he came up with the idea and bounced it off of Nick DeLugo, the head cross-country and track coach. And, he had been involved with the Derby Little League for a number of years.
Right.
And he did a lot of fundraising when he was with them. And of course, he's a Derby guy. He played football and baseball as a graduate of Derby High School. So he wanted to help out and do some fundraising for the running programs. And that's how it started. And we had a couple of meetings to sort of set it up and get it going. And I think officially we were formed on March 17th on St. Patrick's Day of last year.
Oh, so over a year now.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And how would you say you guys are progressing with this?
Well, I have to give Rob and Tara his wife, Tara Heider, they just do yeoman's work in terms of the fundraising aspect. Whatever possible fundraiser we can get involved in, they'll have us there. So they really are driving the fundraising, and then the other members of the board really are the coaches. And that's Nick DeLugo at the high school. That's Mike Gazzo at the middle school. It's Jenny Ames at Bradley School. Lucia Hannick, who's an assistant of Nick's. So it's going well.
Right. You want to ask a question?
Not so far. You guys are covering pretty much everything.
So let me ask you this, Joe. This is something that has never happened in Derby, correct? Like in all the years that they've had cross country, they've had track, they've never had this type of booster club, correct? I mean, really, the only booster club I really remember is the football one had one, and the other sports really have never had this. So this is really something new that's developed. Huh?
Pretty much. Back in the day, Mike, there was a Derby booster club that was a booster club for all of the sports.
Right.
But it's obviously it's difficult. You're one of many teams, so you're not going to be able to get the kinds of things that you're going to get if you have a booster club dedicated to one sport or
It seems to be becoming more and more prevalent that each sport has kind of their own booster club. Right now, with the Fields project underway in Derby, the booster club hasn't been able to raise funds because there's no concession stand available. So Booster Club is kind of in limbo at the moment. So baseball has a diamond club, runners have the running club, we have a softball club, wrestling has their own thing, basketball kind of has their own fundraising. So each individual sport kind of has their own, I think cheerleading has one as well. So that's kind of the way that things are going at the moment.
Right.
Which is good because that means that there's parents and coaches and things that are willing to step up and get involved in order to continue it until, the new practice is up and going and Booster Club kicks back in. So.
Right. And how's the fundraising been going? Like, what are some of the fundraisers you guys do with the kids?
Yeah, I'll tell you, they managed to come up with everything from small to large.
Right.
Currently, we're in the month of May, and there's basically you buy a ticket, and every day of the month, I think. Jen,
it's a calendar. It's a calendar fundraiser. It's actually 23 days.
Yep.
So you buy a ticket for $10. It's a full calendar. I think it's every day during the week.
Right.
And they pull a winner each night. And if you win, your ticket still goes back in, so you can win multiple times. So it's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And the prizes are great. They're like $50 and up gift certificates. So.
Absolutely. And we thank all of the businesses and organizations in the Valley that have donated for that. That helps a lot.
Sounds like Jen's secretly in this running club and just isn't putting her name.
Well,
to it.
Jen is.
I just support it. I fully, heartily support it. This is one thing that I do not have a hand in.
But and tangentially, Jen is involved in just about everything. Whether we're having a banquet or whatever event we have, Jen is usually somewhere involved behind the scenes.
Whatever the kids and coaches need, that's what I'm there for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So now let me ask you, as far as meetings go, do you guys meet once a week, once a month? How does it work?
Yeah, I don't think it's a formal schedule, but generally it comes out to about once every 6 weeks or so.
Oh, so it's not every month per se.
Not per se.
Right.
No.
And I mean, have you added people to the committee? I mean, are there parents involved besides, obviously Rob and Tara are, but are there parents involved as well?
No, not really. Not on the board itself. No, but they certainly help out. And when we ask the kids to sell tickets, the parents are often involved in helping.
Right.
That.
Yeah, they just recently had a clothing drive, which the parents definitely get involved in that piece of it. We've had some canning, and I would think that some of the parents were there helping with support on that.
Sure. We have tag day and all those kinds of things.
And this is not just the high school. This is the whole running club, correct?
Correct.
The middle school, the grammar schools, correct?
Right.
I mean, so it's like all kids as young as age 9 fundraise, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good, too, because it teaches these kids how to be responsible at a young age. And then, when they get older, they kind of have an idea of what to do. And you really don't have to, train them or whatever, so it's beneficial to them.
Absolutely. Sometimes they're more motivated at that age,
Right.
than when they get older. But, everybody's involved.
Right.
Yep.
It's interesting, you talk about a program that 5 or 6 years ago was gone for, a good 3 or 4 years. And, it kind of got resurrected, and little by little, it's really taken off. And now with this booster club, a lot of great things are happening with this running club.
Absolutely. As you said, Mike, there was sort of a hiatus, I guess, certainly with the cross-country program for 3-4 years, whatever it was.
Right.
And it sort of got reinvigorated with the start of the middle school program that Mike Gazzo developed.
Right. Does a great job, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was huge. And he did that for a few years, and then it was 2012 when Gabby Prizio started running with Seymour. Nick trained her, but we didn't have a team that year. And the following year, there was a team in 2013. That was the first year in 5 years or so, 4 or 5 years. And then 2014 was when things really started.
And they won the MVL that year, correct? Was it 14 they won the MVL, or was it 15?
No, 2015. 2014 they were 4th,
right?
But came in 2nd in Class S.
Right.
That was a big moment.
And then 2016 they won it all. Correct?
That was the year of the Class S championship. Yeah.
Which is amazing, because as you well know, when you coached at the time, trying to get numbers was difficult, and you were just trying to place meets more than anything else. And now things have really taken off.
Right now, the track numbers are through the roof, and everyone's participating. So it's not like they want to be on the team because they're winning state championships all over the place. It's these kids are working hard every single day, and it's a very well-rounded team, and everybody has their spot and knows who's got to make points for what, and it's right now it's like a fine-tuned machine.
Yeah, they're doing extraordinary.
And I would imagine with the numbers they're getting now, they have to take 2 buses to every meet, correct?
Yes.
Which was never...
Yeah.
So this
is the first year.
fundraising, that's where it comes in handy.
This
because
is the first year that they've had to take 2.
Right. That comes in handy because, there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just going to the meets and running. I mean, there's uniforms, there's the buses. There's a number of things that go into it. So this booster club really needed to happen.
Yeah, it helps out a lot. I mean, look, Derby, it's a small community, Mike, as you know.
Right.
And, the city, it's not an affluent town. So in terms of tax dollars, Derby has to be frugal. So the Board of Education has to be frugal. And they do the best that they can in providing for the, the schools and for the athletic program. But, you have to watch your dollars. So what the Booster Club tries to do, the Derby Running Club tries to do, is to do those kinds of things that we just couldn't do otherwise.
And they have invitationals and things that they like to go to on the weekends.
Yeah,
right.
And the Booster Club takes care of their buy-in for that type of thing.
Right. And even helping defray the cost of the national high school track and field championships.
Yeah, we've already got a couple of kids that have qualified for this summer, so
yeah,
it's exciting. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah.
I just want to interrupt. This is Eugene Driscoll of valleyindy.org. We've got comments to read, Mike.
Oh,
this
here we
is
go.
Live.
Here we go. Live
we got
comments.
people. Comments. Here we go.
Oh no,
We're in a big time.
Is that a veiled insult? Mike? What are you picking up for? Okay, Jenny Ames.
Hey, Jenny.
Derby,
Jenny.
cross country, and track. We've only just begun. Oh wait, that's this.
It's
I
feedback.
can hear myself. We've got Franklin Dean. I don't know how to say the last name. Gandia Gandaga. Fantastic group of people. Jenny Ames again. Bradley, 5-year-olds are selling raffle tickets. That was
Nice,
maybe
Mike.
we were talking
5.
about raffle tickets.
Going 5-year-olds.
Jenny Ames again. Jen is amazing. Not talking about herself, but talking about Jenn.
Thanks,
Moffat.
Jenny.
And then hi, Mike. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Hi, Muzz. And,
Is this all Jenny?
And that's it. This is all Jenny Ames.
Hi, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny Ames.
Thanks for being a good supporter, Jenny. Good job.
All right, get back to your show.
So now, Muzz, let me ask you this. You also have some kids who are doing really well right now in the collegiate area. Especially I could think of Kylie Rodriguez right now, who's doing really good at Central. So just talk about some of the kids that are now advancing their running careers.
Yeah, I mean, and Kylie's definitely one. In fact, I was just up at Central over the weekend, and she won her first race in college in the 3,000 meters.
It's amazing.
And she ran it. She ran a smart race. She the first half of the race, she was in second place. Actually, she was in second most of the way. But in the last lap and a half or so, she started her kick. And she ran the last quarter mile in 78 seconds, which, when you look at what time she ran and everything, I mean, that's special. Yeah. So she had some injuries and illnesses that she had to fight off. She had some of that in high school, and she overcame that. Yeah. But she had that again in early in her freshman year in college, and now is back in form. She's doing really well. She's excited to be there, and it's just good to see.
Right.
If anybody's looking to follow current runners, current track and cross country, as well as graduates that are now in college and competing, on the Derby Running Club Facebook page, Muzz and Rob and Tara are always doing nice write-ups of different things that are happening. So follow them on Facebook so you can keep in track of all the kids.
Absolutely.
We got a couple of Go K-Rod!
That's Jenny.
Yeah.
Janessa Bennett.
All right.
And then Jenny Ames K-Rod. Our
All right.
girl is on fire.
All right.
Yeah, she's doing very well. And also Gabby Prizio is running at the University of Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, she's she's doing well down there. So and I think next year we're going to have a number of kids who are going to be running in college or doing track or cross country or both in college.
I think right now Central and Southern look like the two big ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeping it close, we can all go and enjoy a meet and cheer them on.
It's going to be fun. I don't know what we're going to do on weekends next year because we got the high school meets on the weekends, and then we're going to have the Southern and Central, and it's going to be crazy. So
Now, let me ask you this. As you know, April was a brutal month weather-wise. How did these kids perform in weather like this? I mean, it can't be easy. I mean, track was not made for, running in the cold. So just explain how they do it.
This group is a hardy bunch. They are out there every day. It's raining, it's cold. They're out there in shorts and tank tops and running. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I mean, the joke we used to have, Mike, was we'd run into anything, whether it's rain, snow, nuclear war, it wouldn't matter. We had to be out there.
Like postal workers.
Yeah. I mean, there were the first couple of meets this year were just brutally cold.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was one, I think, up in Seymour, the first meet of the year.
The kids were wearing sweatshirts throwing.
Oh,
so Tristan was wearing a sweatshirt throwing because it's just too cold.
It must have been, by the end of the meet, it had to be about 30 degrees with a wind.
Right. And, that takes a toll on your muscles, too. I mean, that's how you get,
strains and pulls,
yeah.
Sure.
Because, you're tight all the time. It's not easy, and each year the weather just seems to get worse in the spring.
Yep.
But it hasn't really affected their performance when they're out there.
Well, certainly those aren't ideal conditions for your best times of the year. First of all, it's the beginning of the season, so you're not at your peak yet. And then you have to contend with the weather. So your best races are not usually going to be in that kind of weather, especially sprinters, because that has an even more detrimental effect. But
luckily for us, it's not the best time for anybody.
Right.
So it's kind of that thing. And just on a side note, quick shout out to Ashley Bounds, our trainer at the high school, because she takes care of those kids daily.
Where were these trainers when we were there?
I know.
There are ice baths and treatments and stretching, and she goes to all the state meets and everything and makes sure our kids are stretched properly. And I don't know where we'd be without her right now. So.
Ashley's great. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
There's a comment on here for you, Mike, from a Gabe Mancini. Neech! What's up, buddy?
Gabe was actually a longtime Boys and Girls Club kid. He's a great kid, and God, I haven't heard that name in about 10 years, so good to hear from you, Gabe.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Muzz, let me ask you this. We talked about the high school. Talk to me about the middle school team. How are they doing thus far? Because, you got a lot of talented kids soon to make their way up to the high school.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they had their first meet about a week ago up at Shelton.
20th, yeah.
Yeah, and they did very well. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I have it in reverse, but I think the boys won and the girls were close second.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Yeah. And little Cassie Silkoff ran.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. She's in 5th grade, and I didn't see the race, but I heard about it, and she broke 6 minutes for the mile.
Wow.
Now
wow. At her age, that's unheard of, right?
Yeah, that's outstanding for her age, and so hopefully that'll continue. And there were some other people who did very well in that race too. So from what I understand, we have some sprinters on the girls' side anyway who can help the program next year, the year after. So it's looking good. Yeah.
And now that's Mike and also
and Jenn Andrews.
Right? So they've been coaching that, and they do a great job.
They do.
It's just amazing to think, because there was a time when they tried a middle school team, they would have to practice with the high school kids. You might have had 5 or 6 kids, and now even that's just like taking off. So I mean, really, like Mike, what he's done when he started that running program, I mean, he deserves a tremendous amount of credit.
Yeah, there's got to be somewhere between 30 and 40 kids, if not more, on that team. It's about what the high school numbers are. I see them out there every day.
Right.
It's a big group.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, and as I say, when he sort of reinvigorated the program in 2010, that was really the start of all these things that have happened over the last 8 years.
Yeah, and the kids are with him all day. He's a teacher at the middle school, and they can relate to him, and he's out there, and he runs with them every day. So it's not just somebody that's coaching them. He's out there, he's getting his workout in, he's running with them every day. So it's somebody that everybody in the Derby school system respects, and the kids do. So.
Absolutely. And on that note, too, Mike was at the race at Central over the weekend as well.
He was.
He went up.
Good. Nice.
And Nick and Jenny Ames was at they were both at the race at Yale a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
So it's good to see that the coaches continue to take an interest in the kids, even beyond when they graduate.
And I mean, how about Nick? I mean, it's just amazing what he's done. I mean, he just kind of, like you said, he took it over in 2012.
Yeah, I think he took over the track team around 2009.
Yeah, I think it was his year.
Yeah, right. But in cross country in 2013.
And I mean, so quick that these kids, he got them winning, and the kids deserve most of the credit. But what he's done, him, Mike, all the other coaches. It's just remarkable.
He'll be the first one to say, it's all the kids.
Yeah.
He's a really humble guy.
Yeah. Great guy, too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Top notch. Lucia Hannick's there with them most days. Matt Nicolari's been helping out this year as well.
Wow.
And Ron Conyers. Yep. So they've been. It's kind of a group that's really trying to get them where they need to be. So, but like I said, Nick will be the first one to say it's all the kids.
Yeah, and he really, when I first met him, you never know when you first meet a coach how they're going to be and what they're.
Right.
But in a fairly short amount of time, as I got to know him, Mike, he's proven to me, and I'm not an easy sell when it comes to coaches sometimes, especially in this sport. But he is extremely passionate about what he does.
Right.
He is. It's funny because we'll talk about statistics and workouts and all that kind of stuff, and he is very much into it. And he's also, and this is a good thing too. It's not only about your top athletes and your top runners, but he's also looking for some of the younger kids and maybe the athletes who don't have as much ability to see how much they can improve in a given year. And that's important too. I think, coaches who don't look at that do a disservice to some of their team. He keeps all of that in mind.
It's develop from the bottom to the top.
Right.
Freshman to senior, you got to keep developing.
Absolutely.
Right. And how is it for you? I mean, it's kind of like full circle for you. I mean, you left for probably 10 years. You came back, and now you're doing this running club with Rob and Tara. And, I mean, that just has to be great for you to be a part of it again.
It's a lot of fun, Mike.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Back to the Future, and sometimes when I see the kids now, they remind me of some of the kids that I coached back in the day, and it's a lot of fun. And certainly when the girls cross country team won the 2016 championship, that on a personal note was very fulfilling. It was like the fulfillment of a dream. When, as you know, in the first 5 years of the girls program, starting in '88. Now, we did very well. We didn't have a middle school team, let alone Radley school team.
Right.
We didn't even have a girls track team. But we did very well. And in those first 5 years, we managed to place in the top 8 in the Class S championship 5 years in a row. Now, people say, well, it's okay, but it's not. But I think the best analogy I could make is it's like advancing to the Class S quarterfinals in the baseball or softball tournament 5 years in a row, and doing it with players who had never picked up a bat and ball, never played Little League baseball before. That's what it was like. And so now, kind of going, 20 years later, to see these kids having those opportunities, the middle school, the track program, indoor track program, and making the most of it. And so it's kind of like the fulfillment of what we'd always hoped for. Ever since I was in high school, running, we always wanted that Class S championship banner up on the wall. So to finally see that happen and to have kids, and these are great kids.
Right.
I mean, they really are.
Absolutely.
Hardworking.
Great group.
So that makes it even better. So
Right.
it's good stuff.
And it's great. We're bringing it full circle again. It's great when we have, these kids are winning championships. You got the girls cross country and the boys indoor and outdoor last year. And it's great to have you there as the MC at the banquets, because you have the history, the knowledge, and you appreciate it more than I think anybody else would because of the background that you have in it.
No, thanks. No, and it's a lot of fun. I love doing it. And
I'm just amazed at all the film you have from the days. I look at that and I'm like, well, how did he do that?
Where are these pictures coming?
Oh, yeah. And it's not the greatest quality because we always...
Whether I did it 1990, 91,
and sometimes the kids would film the races, and the camera would shake.
Running.
It's like watching horror movies, like boom, boom, boom. So it was a little bit tough, but we got some, and I tried to sort of get some onto the camera and try to edited a little bit, and it's good to watch. So some of the memories.
Yeah, it's just grateful to have that piece of history
Exactly.
that they wouldn't otherwise have if
Right.
you weren't there to put it into effect.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a lot of fun, and we even had and Jen, you know this, at the cross country banquet a couple of years ago, we had 4 of the original cross country members of the 7 who went to the banquet.
Right.
It was awesome to have them there. We took some pictures with the current team, and they got to tell their stories, and it was just you also another thing that you did with that banquet is reached out to a couple of the kids that are away at school, Gabby and a big competitor of the girls cross country team, Immaculate, sent a nice video. So that was really a nice piece of it for the kids.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and then we had Sharon Miller, who was our first captain. From Pennsylvania. She's actually coaching now middle school cross country track.
Oh, right? Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Yeah.
You have a couple more comments.
Oh, here we go. Come on.
I would like to interrupt if that's
Please.
okay. Is that
Sure.
okay with you,
Please.
Mike? All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
We got. Wait, hold on. Let me scroll. You've got so many comments. I have to scroll down.
Oh boy.
I just stopped to get some. We got Jared Wilson. Big Neech!
What's up, Jared? Good to hear from you.
And then Jenny Ames from the Bradley School has a lot of comments about what you were talking about at one particular time. She's like, Kylie is my little sister. Derby cross country and track. K through 12 is family. Muzz rules!
Awesome.
Stuart Green, throwing this out there.
Uh-oh.
Booster Club sponsors an alumni race to benefit the kids. Entry fees, etc. This was Jeff Heitman's idea.
Here we go, Jeff.
Okay,
Wow,
Jeff.
Attaboy, Jeff. Here we go.
I'm sure you'll get a few of us old people to participate. And then Jenny started talking to him, saying we love our alumni. And then Stuart, I think, corrected his own grammar. But that's all right, Stuart. It doesn't matter. He said and instead of maybe. But anyway, yeah, go ahead, Mike. Thanks.
Okay, so, I want to thank you for coming on. It was a lot of fun, and I think what you're doing with this running club is really great. And I'm just glad that you're a part of it again, because it just didn't seem like cross country or track without you.
It's been great. I don't know what I would have done without doing this again. It's just been wonderful. And by the way, Jeff Heitman and Stu Green, 2 of our alumni. Yeah. Jeff was part of the 1987 boys team that did very well, 6th in class.
Paul King was the captain.
And Paul was the guy in 80. Right. Yes. Yeah. You're right. Yes. Yeah. And Stu also was part of that 87 team.
Yes. Yeah.
And he placed. Was it about 50? I have to look. But he had an excellent race in the Class S championship that year. So, but no, it's great. And
Jen, you wanted to just talk briefly about a cause that you've been doing before we
just really quick. Coming up on May 19th, we have our 8th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Pink Softball game. This year will be at Ansonia High School due to the field construction at Derby with the project going on. So over the past 7 years, we've raised just over $21,000. It goes to Griffin Hospital and the Development Fund to help people directly at the Hewitt Center for Breast Wellness at Griffin. It all started when Joe DiMartino, who was the head coach of the softball team, his wife was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2011. We started it that year, and it's been going strong ever since. And thankfully, Lori's in remission and doing well, and she's very strong. So for us, we're just looking for people to come on out that day, support. At 11 a.m. at Ansonia High School is the varsity game, Ansonia versus Derby. And then for the third year, we have our alumni game. So if you're alumni out there and you want to play, please get in touch with me. If you can't make it that day, you want to make a donation, you can send it to the high school attention, the softball team or myself. So just come on out. We're looking for everybody to be there and support the kids that day, and all for a great cause.
And that is an awesome cause, and there's a lot of participation, and I think that's great what you guys do. I really do.
Thank you.
And that's it. It's a wrap. So I want to thank you both for being here today. It was a lot of fun, and wow, we killed a half hour.
That went fast.
I will just add from the bleacher seats, if you want to support the Derby Running Club, this had a decent amount of views, it looks like. There is a comment pinned to the top of this thread where you can donate directly during the Great Give. Qualifies them for matching money, other prizes. You can give as little as $5. You can set your own amount. If you're listening to this at some time in the future, go to thegreatgive.org/organizations and type in Derby Running Club. to give money to this very worthy cause. And I want to thank you three for coming on, letting us have dinner. You've lifted the load off us. Yeah, Ethan ate something.
Ethan.
And if anybody's out there, please stick with us. It was great to see all those comments. That's what we love. That's when this comes alive. And we're going to segue very badly from this to our next guest, Jackie the Joke Man, the former head writer for the Howard Stern Show, is calling in at 8 p.m.
Nice.
Thank you.
And thank you, Eugene, and everybody at Valley Indy for having us on. This is great.
Our pleasure.